So, hi, I'm Mark. I'm running music experiences product management for Nokia, which is kind of weird. I never thought I'd end up working for Nokia because I was kind of the last of my friends to have a mobile phone. Not because I don't like technology, I love gadgets, but I never had any money. I used to spend all my money on records. I was kind of the sad guy in the record shop, literally the last bit of money in the pocket would come out. So passionate about music, it kind of still really consumes, most of my day when I'm at work and now not at work. I used to be a DJ. I say used to be a DJ. I was probably the world's crappiest DJ, really bad. Not because I have good taste in music, but I'm so passionate about the music I listen to that I would be more interested in what I wanted to hear and had no empathy for my audience. So I was great at clearing dance floors. I was really got quite a reputation for being the guy who would play miserable, sad, crying music, in the middle of a nightclub, and people would get quite aggressive. I don't understand why, but it was beautiful music. Anyway, I'm a better product manager than I was a DJ. That kind of brings me back around to what I'm doing at the moment, which is working for Nokia Music. I started my journey in digital music with OD2, which was Peter Gabriel's old music startup, a white labeling company. It ran Microsoft's music services in Europe and for some other telcos. That got acquired by Nokia. And Nokia was the first of the sort of handset manufacturers, mobile phone manufacturers, to really invest big in music. It saw an opportunity there. It wanted to be disruptive. And it launched something called Comes with Music, which was the world's first unlimited mobile music download service. It was a painful process getting it out the door. It was a lot of struggle with the labels. There's a lot of resistance. It's always tough when you're first and you're doing something disruptive because people are quite afraid. Unlimited, free. And it was tough to get exactly the product that we wanted. And it ultimately, I think, we had to make some serious changes to the product. Three letters really with a problem, DRM. And it was kind of launched at the time when people were becoming more aware of digital rights management, and before users, it wasn't really something that was out there in the public domain. It was something in the industry. Users would just use the product and the DRM would be okay, and it wouldn't affect the experience, but it did affect the experience. And so we continued with Comes with Music in territories where we could get rights to offer DRM-free unlimited downloads. And it's really popular today in India and China and Indonesia. We have over 7 million downloads a week in India with our service there. But we really needed to continue to be disruptive and to offer something globally that would really engage users. And so we spent a bit of time thinking about this, and we had a strategy change, ultimately. We decided that we saw services like Pandora and Last.fm and great services like that, and we thought, what would it take to make these services, which have far less barriers in terms of, people activating the service, and do away with the USB cable problem. I mean, you talk to anybody in mobile music users out there, they hate having to sideload music. People love Apple products, but the part of the experience that people always complain about is iTunes. Oh, it's making me have to plug this in. It's horrible. So how do we free people from those USB cables? And clearly Pandora and those other streaming services were doing a great job. Pandora, 50 million active users in the US. That's one territory alone. So how can we take what they are doing and make it truly mobile? And I think the sort of the light bulb moment came when we realized that the solution was something which was going to work for a graphic designer in Manhattan, without an unlimited data contract, and it was also going to work for a farmer in Uttar Pradesh, who was out in the fields and would come into the city once every few weeks, and who could top up their music when they had an internet connection. So it was offline playback was the key thing, getting rights for offline downloads for internet radio, and being able to very simply and easily allow users to take those streams offline was the key to making what is a great idea into a really great proposition for users who have the casual usage model predominantly in their minds. They're passionate about music, they love music, but they don't have the time maybe that everybody has. We've talked that Holger earlier on was talking about internet radio, and he was absolutely right. Not really competing with Spotify and Zune, because they're ready for the music mavens, the really engaged users who will lean forward, who want to curate playlists. And I think the majority of people, if we're really going to invigorate the digital music industry and really make up for the loss in physical sales, we have to get those people engaged back, those casual users engaged in music again. And so it's about making the product simple and easy to access. And we've done this, we believe, with our new streaming radio service on Lumia devices. We're now live in 23 countries. So this is it's live on Lumia handsets. We launched in Germany in May and USA last week, which is a big thing for us to launch there. We've got great support from the carriers. We launched with Green Day to a lot of publicity. And this is, it's a service which is really designed to take away all barriers between a user and the music. So we don't require users to even log in or create an account for the user service. That seems strange, but actually you can't underestimate, the barriers that we put in front of users and activating a service and how quickly that can distract them. People are so easily distracted and so easily turned away from activating a service with any kind of complex login process. That's the thing we learned really from Come to Music. We have to take away all the barriers, and that music just needs to play out of the box. And so that's kind of what we've done with Mix Radio. The user response has been fantastic. So we measure consumer satisfaction in something called NPS. It's not a Nokia proprietary thing. I believe there's a lot of companies starting to use this. It means Net Promoter Score. And it's kind of like how likely are you to recommend this product to your friends? And you can just rate on a scale of 1 to 10. And the score you get ends up being kind of a sort of a balance between promoters and detractors. So you'll either get a minus score, that's not good, or a positive score, which is good. And the bigger the number, the better. And the highest score is actually in Mexico. For some reason, our Mexican consumers are loving this product. We've got a plus 46 NPS score, which anything about NPS, that's off the chart. So, that's not through adding complex features. It's not through adding, and we're all geeks here. We love kind of, innovative, next generation sort of features, but really taking features away from the product, making it simple, making, if we can almost reduce this product to just a play button that just knows the music you want to listen to. That's what I think will generate the most use from consumers. People just want to be entertained. They want the content. They don't want stuff to get in the way of the content. They want that content, and they want the content that they love. And that's what we believe we've done with our new service. And it's really, I think, the big moment for us next is on Windows 8. So we're launching shortly our new devices, our new Windows 8 devices, which I'm sure you've read about in the press. There's a lot of excitement about those and a lot of expectation. The product experience, we believe, is unrivaled. It's the fastest sort of user interface. It's the it's the most beautiful user interface. It's the most beautiful hardware, and the best music service, we believe. And it's going to get a lot better in the future as we bring in more innovation. Not more complexity, though, for the user experience. It's going to focus on that simple lean-back experience, but more innovation, more understanding of the contextual relevance that surrounds us. We've talked a little bit about contextuality today, and really using the mobile phone as a context engine for your life in a simple and valuable way. We believe that's the way forward for mobile music, and that's the way we'll be taking the product over the next kind of 12 months. I think that's my time up. But yeah, thank you.